Small business owners of Reddit. I always feel awkward walking into a store, being greeted by the kind owner and then walking out without buying anything. How does it feel on your end when this happens? My best friend and I own a jewelry business. We set up booths at cons and Renaissance festivals. People come in to look around often. We try to let people know that we love people coming in to just look. We love hearing compliments about our product even though people aren't interested in buying. And it's the truth. I'd rather people come in and take a look around rather than just walk on by. Plus if more people are inside, onlookers may think it's pop in and go in. Yeah, not that bad, except when no comes by. Those days are the worst. Time just becomes infinite at that point, so hard to keep working. Sometimes it's so slow at work that I just wanna have a conversation with them. I couldn't care less if they don't buy anything. Don't feel awkward. If you don't want to buy something, we'll pick something up about the reason. Doesn't have the money, we didn't present it correctly, etc. It's still a way to move forward and make more money in the future. If someone is getting mad at you, they either opened their business in the wrong location or are incredibly new to small business, or you're doing something besides just looking around. I own a small music instrument store, and it doesn't bother me at all. Lots of people who come and don't play an instrument themselves, but have family members or friends that do, so they go away and tell them about my shop, which is a great thing for me. Plenty of others come in to see what I have and return when they need strings or have the cash for a new guitar, etc. When I was in sales, I would feel disappointment in situations like this, but I never blamed the potential customer. You shouldn't buy crap out of guilt. Maybe you shouldn't be selling crap, then. Try being in California where no one buys bags anymore and you just see people walk out with carts full of food or trying to hold it all in their arms. Literally everyone looks like they're stealing. Yup, my wife goes shopping and brings old gift bags. When she comes home with groceries, it's like Christmas in the kitchen. I own a small boutique grooming salon and have a small selection of toys, clothes, and unique fancy collars and leashes. I offer these things for my clients, who often have cheap arms looking for some little unnecessity to blow cash on. But when random people come in off the street to look for things for their 200+ lb Mastiff, there just isn't a whole lot for them. I'm always friendly and chatty as they look around, but you can feel their awkwardness when they realize I don't really cater to their dog's size. I usually pretend to make a phone call so they can slip out quietly without feeling like they are personally hurting my business and feelings. For their 200+ lb Mastiff. Until then I thought you were talking about a completely different kind of boutique. Just be kind about it. Doesn't bother us. If you're asked, just say, didn't quite find what I was looking for, thank you though, or if you're not, just say thank you as you walk out. We appreciate it. Nah, instead I'll just leave awkwardly and never come back. I only have stalls at festivals and events like conventions, but it's a little disappointing at times. I price what I make cheap so it's available to a wider audience who can afford that price range, but it's disheartening when people try to haggle when you've set the lowest price you'd like for an item and they storm out all grumpy. As a struggling teen, it kinda sucks, but what can you do? Independently owned video game store owner here. I typically love when people come in to browse and we can just talk games. No purchase necessary, and oftentimes I'll even recommend better deals at Target or Walmart if they have a special or we are sold out. My favorite customers are the older people that don't know much but have a hard time choosing the right console or game. They are always pleased when I can help them make a decision. Worst customers are collectors, surprisingly. They are so presumptuous and cheap as tuck. And you can almost always tell when you have one in the store in about 5 seconds. Don't regale me with your garage sale finds on a game we have or try to tell me about how you just emulate everything. True collectors would never emulate. When you are coming in just to browse and then leave, I don't care. If you seem dissatisfied with something but won't discuss it, that kind of sucks. But it is what is and it's not a big deal. I know that some people come in out of curiosity and nothing grabs their attention, and that doesn't bother me at all. I greet everybody because it's my business and I want them to know that I am here to help and that they should not feel bad about bothering me with questions. My parents own a small liquor store that I worked at for a couple years. When people came in, browsed, and then left, we always wondered, What were they looking for? When walking into a small business just to browse, I acquired the habit of saying, "This is my first time here. I thought I'd just stop in and check things out." It sets the expectations on both sides in reality. I went into a pet shop and the guy was really nice and I talked with him for a good 30 minutes. I had to leave and felt bad for him. It was a little shop with barely any place to move. So I bought a dog leash even if I did not own any dog cat at this time. RIP $10. Well, at least you helped their shop. You could give that leash to any one of your friends with a pet dog cat for free though. My father owns a bag shop and I work with him. We always greet customer who came and act kindly to them. I think it's not a problem if you didn't buy anything. It's just our job to be friendly. I make a mental note of your behavior and use CCTV in the store to get an image of your face, from which I am able to identify you by my contacts. I'll get your address as well. Later on I'll come to your house in the dead of night with a shotgun and murder you and your entire family. So in short, please buy something from our struggling business. If you spent less money on tracking me down, you could spend more on marketing. I would happily return you with a nice smile, and you're my customer from the very next time. Try it out. Works at my end. It feels normal, and I'm fine with it. It's a lot better than the people who come in to use and destroy our bathroom or ask for directions and be rude about it, then walk out without buying anything. Being friendly doesn't mean you should feel obligated to buy things. No big deal. It happens a lot. More people buy than people not buying. If it was the other way round, I would start looking at my stock and wondering if I'm stocking the right stuff. My mother was British, so I learned the habit from her at a young age of always saying thank you to a shopkeeper when leaving a store, especially if you don't buy. I still do it. It at least acknowledges them as a human being and not some part of the store fixtures too. Please don't feel guilty or awkward at all. We are just so excited that something enticed you to come into the store. Also, that you will potentially think of us in the future or you will recommend us to a friend. You know what, man? I don't own a small business, but I've been the sole employee of one for 7 years. Personally, I get pumped when have a good year. I'm excited when we break record sales for a specific weekend. I want my little shop to do well and have great sales. The more money the business makes, the longer I get a paycheck and potential for a raise. I'm sad when I don't get a sale, but not from you. I'm sad when I don't nab that sale that someone teased me with. They just had me go over stuff and demo things and answer questions for 30 minutes. I mean, that's cool, but personally I don't start asking questions unless I truly mean to purchase an item. I understand people change their mind, that's cool, but don't bother me with a sale when you just wanted the info from me and then go buy it online. When people come in and just wander around, that's cool, you're probably just checking stuff out, I'm fine with that. I'll let you know you can ask me questions if you want, but for the most part I'll just leave you alone. Those people are fine, I expect a reasonable amount of foot traffic. You don't have to sell to everyone that walks in. Maybe you're waiting for your wife in the clothing store next door and wanted to come check out the cool toy store. I'll get some dusting done, maybe some stocking, or maybe I'll just chill and listen to some music. Take your time, but don't take mine unless you're going to buy something. And I apologize for any grammar mistakes, which there's probably a lot. Handcrafter here and love to explain what we have and what we think are good things about it. Just be polite. Maybe you'll come back or send a friend. Maybe not, but you got to meet our products and we met you. To me it doesn't matter whether I'm walking into a very high-end retail store, a carefully maintained small business, or a thrift shop. I don't owe the establishment a sale. Because I only go into those stores to browse or because I'm already in a good mood, I find that I'm treated very well, whether I make a purchase that day or not. Shop owners understand that some of need to wait for payday, or save up, or that we may not be sure this is just the right thing for what we are looking for, and if they don't understand those things, frick them. I have no guilt walking out without having made a purchase. I don't just walk around in life purchasing things willy-nilly. I don't purchase things to make someone feel good that they opened a store, but I am more likely to buy an inexpensive item from that store if the owner sales staff is friendly and inviting, and then come back for more expensive items later, such as locally made pottery. Customer service and value are the two biggest factors I use when I make decisions with my money. I co-manage a small cafe. I don't give a crap if you don't buy anything, though that would be cool. Just being noticed and possibly visited later is totally cool with me. I'm completely happy sending you to another place that my friends work at or own if it's not what you're looking for. Small businesses take care of each other by directing people to the next spot that is owned by our friends. I'd much rather you walk out with nothing and think there was a really nice store than walk out with something and think I really don't want this, but I'd feel guilty not getting anything. After all, you're not likely to come back to a store that makes you feel guilty. I don't own a store, but I've helped out at a small, family-owned store for quite a few years, often during holidays or when the owners go on vacation. It might be because it's not my business, but I really don't care that much when people browse and leave without buying anything. They mainly sell gift type stuff, so it's totally possible that you just didn't find anything. What can be annoying are the people who find something they like, then stand there and scroll through their phones as they look it up on online stores. Like, I get that you're trying to get a good deal or whatever, but could you not leave before making your purchase? If you are doing it so that I knock the price down, at least ask about what deals we can make. Sometimes, I can't do anything, but if it comes down to you not buying from the store or making a purchase, I'll give you a sales price or throw in some hand lotion or something, but I can't do it without you initiating it. I will say that I am one of the people who will stand in an aisle for an absurd amount of time on my phone. I'm not looking for better prices. In my case, I'm reading reviews and my obsessive compulsive disorder is in full effect to find the best product for me. Seriously, just come in, be friendly, ask questions. If you have to use a bathroom, use it and keep it clean enough for the next person to use. However, you never have to feel like you're being rude by not buying something. It's part of being a shopkeeper. We enjoy the traffic, and usually if there are people in the shop, more people will come in too. Reading comments here, and knowing why most people will only go to big box stores or purchase online. Most small stores are run in a most amateur sort of way, not normally helpful. Follow you around the store and try to convince you that you need to buy what they have even though it is not what you are looking for. Our location in a smaller town is really terrible at this. Big purchases go to bigger cities to get, and online places thrive because of these attitudes. Right or wrong, that is the way it is. Not an owner, but a friend of mine is a guy that owns a TCG video game store. Over the years I've helped him out a few dozen times. I'd say maybe 1 in 7 to 1 in 10 walk in and don't buy anything. Most times it's one of those things where the shop might not have what they're looking for, but there have been many times that the store owner has been able to get people stuff they wanted within a few days to a few weeks. As someone that has gone into that store on many occasions and bought nothing the owner knows by now, I usually just stop by to shoot the crap with him anyways. Sometimes, depending on the store, it's nice to just have someone come in and chit chat for a bit to break up the monotony of the day. A sale is always nice, but sometimes a possible future friendship is what really matters. Owner of an art gallery, and I like people to come in to just watch the artworks even if they don't buy anything. The worst that could happen is that they discover the gallery and start taking us into account whenever they go for a walk. The best, that they have some kind of relationship with artists or another interesting customer. Anyway, when nobody comes in and then somebody pops up is just well received company. There's also strange people I don't want to see again, like anywhere. Normal. You're not obligated to buy because you passed the threshold of the shop. If retail has taught me anything, it's that most customers are such fools or buttholes that the normal ones make my day just by being normal. It's perfectly fine. OP. If a shop owner gives you the stink eye for not buying anything, then he's a butthole. I hate stores or businesses that have signs or products that say ask about the product with no price. No thanks. The ask sign is enough to know it's probably more than I want to spend and I should probably just leave. Usually, it's a minor annoyance. Sometimes I can tell that someone is looking around to get an idea of how much money to bring. I coach sales pros for a living. Basic rule for situations when you're uncomfortable or are feeling awkward. Address the elephant in the room. So you say something like, hey, I'm not picking up anything today, but I know exactly when I'll come back here for a few things I saw that I liked. You get the idea. Basic rule for life in general, in treating everybody. Build people up. Leave them in a better place than you found them. Used to have a small shop in Camden Market, UK. I hate going into shops and being pestered by the assistant, so I would always just say hi and let folks get on with it. If they wanted help, they knew where I was. If not, I wasn't hovering around them making them feel uncomfortable when they left. Of course, this hands-off approach meant I completely missed realizing Tim Burton was walking round my shop one afternoon. It's kind of a common thing at our family gallery, so we don't take it too hard. Most people come in several times before making a big purchase, so we just keep the smiley faces because it's all about being personal with our customers. I'm happy you came in and disappointed I didn't have what you need. If you're just looking, just be honest, I'll leave you alone. And I'd be happier if you stepped in and bought nothing than if you never stepped in. I do not run a brick and mortar, but I do work from home taking orders on the things I make. I do not mind people shopping around and looking before deciding on hiring me to do work for them. What I mind is after they have agreed to me doing the work, I have already begun, and they change their mind and cancel after the fact. It feels like a cold, dead hand reaching into my chest and forcefully tearing my heart out as the realization that my dreams mean nothing to you sinks in and I walked out on my family's corporate business for nothing. I just hate when the entire family or friends are there with the owner, chatting or whatnot. Then I've got 5 sets of deadpan eyes staring at me while I browse. I usually feel too uncomfortable to even ask about something interesting, and usually just walk right back out. No one expects everyone in a store to buy something every time we are in there. You are greeted because we want you to feel we notice you and are willing to help instead of ignoring you. What pisses people off is bitching about how Walmart, Amazon has it cheaper. Small businesses cannot compete on price with a nationwide worldwide chain. You can't match the price savings they get by economies of scale. But the flip side of this is that your town has all of one Walmart for anything, and the only place to buy books is the Goodwill, using us as babysitters, therapists, captive audiences. Look, if it's slow, sure we'll talk to you some, but we're not here to be your bloody family. If you just come in to talk our ear off, over time we'll cold shoulder you, abusing return policies. Yeah, well, stand behind our goods. No, we won't take crap back 6 months after date of purchase. Retail warranties are there to let you not worry about short-term breakage or problems. A small business doesn't have 500 stores where they can just write off hundreds of thousands of 6 month later returns as a rounding error. Absolutely gutting. My kids are starving and my wife's medication just seems to get more expensive every month. Please buy my Misk products. Could be worse. You could just not come in at all. It's all a numbers game, and the more chances we've got to sell to people, the more sales we'll get overall. Nobody has 100% sales closings. Owned a small computer store in the 90s. White box computers and computer parts. I was not in a high traffic area, so most times people came to my store for a reason. The drop-ins never bothered me because to me they were free advertising. Maybe they didn't buy something but they knew I existed, and when a friend said, oh man, I need a new monitor today, they might give them my store. The ones that pee me off were the folks who obviously use me to price check something. See an item. Ask about it being appropriate for their task. Ask what other options there are. Which is more expensive, less expensive, etc. I knew darn well they were going to walk out and buy at a different place and were just using me to confirm that they were getting a good deal. This was pre-Google, so they were essentially using me as Google and not even sliding me a buck for the AdWords. Thanks for that. I work battery and light bulb retail. If you leave my store without buying something, you are a better person for it. Our motto is to solve problems first, sell second. Small farmer here. On the opposite end of your question, I have had experience with people who call me to deliver some hay to feed their horses or goats. I deliver the hay, put it in their barn, and it's then they tell me they can't pay for it today. Could I hold their check for a week or two? This would have been acceptable if I had known this up front, before I even loaded my trailer. Now, it seems deceitful. I ask if they think it's okay to check out your full grocery cart, have it all bagged up, and then tell the cashier you have to hold the check for 2 weeks. Seriously thinking of getting a card reader for these folks. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.